Hi, I'm Damian Wilson.
I'm John A. Washington.
I'm Serena Weinberg.
And I'm Ben Wood.
Our organization is called the Rwandan Education and Academic Development Organization, also known as READ.
Okay. READ aims to create a more prosperous and gender-inclusive Rwanda through the power of education. Education is the foundation for a more equitable and sustainable future and is what bolsters the younger generation. We will support this initiative through the building of new schools, the hiring of well-trained multilingual staff, the teaching of relevant and highly applicable skills suited for the modern working world, and especially by reaching out to rural education-deprived communities.
Our vision statement: READ envisions a Rwanda in which every child, regardless of gender, location, or socioeconomic status, has access to a quality education, therefore giving them more agencies and choices over the course of their lives.
Now we are going to discuss a brief history of our development priorities in Rwanda and the historical context that surrounds them. Rwanda was colonized in the 19th century by the Germans, and then after World War I, it was given to Belgium in a treaty. The main two tribes in Rwanda consist of the Hutu and the Tutsi, and in July of 1994, tensions between the two tribal groups resulted in a civil war in which a genocide killed at least 500,000 people of the Tutsi tribe. This has greatly stunted Rwanda's development and is still seen to this day.
In Rwanda, there is an extremely high AIDS prevalence reaching about 222,000, and their life expectancy is around 64 years. Only 17% of the population is urbanized, and on top of that, they have many migrants that are returning to their home country of Rwanda after fleeing the genocide. Rwanda has even implemented 2 5-year economic development and poverty reduction strategies, or EDPRS, even with this only 12% of children ages 3 to 6 are enrolled in schools.
In conclusion, Rwanda has made notable strides since the 1994 genocide, but they still have a long way to go until they achieve higher rates of education.
Okay, so our group came up with 3 different objectives under our development priorities. Objective 1 is to increase the literacy rates. The activities that will go along to help that would be gaining reading material and actively teaching with it, and by using our teacher training program to give teachers the skill sets they need to educate. One of the risks that would go along with increasing this literacy rate would be the lack of well-trained teachers and the overall lack of community support or aid. To mitigate this problem, we plan on implementing in-depth training programs and widespread education about the existence of school and the importance of education. And then the indicator of the success will be high literacy rates over time. Objective 2 would be to improve primary enrollment. Activities to go along with that would be to build our primary small school and get the community involved in the process. A risk that would go along with that would many families may not be able to let their children go to school as they need to stay home and work and do domesticated activities. But the mitigation for that would be the school would be free, and then we would offer free supplies on top of that, so there's no financial burden for the child going to school. And the indicator of that would be the enrollment of both genders, and it's more balanced among each gender.
Objective 3 is dealing with menstruation. So the activities that are going to come along with this is stocking a separate female washroom with supplies and educating children of both genders on the normalcy of periods and why there should be no shame associated with it, because girls in Africa who skip school because of periods miss up to 21%, or on average 21% of their school years, which is over a fifth. And the risk for this is financial upkeep, because we have to continuously stock pads, so on and so forth. And the mitigation will be crowdfunding, charity funding through NGOs or government, getting the word out there so people want to donate. And indicators that this is working with: seeing less girls who are missing school, seeing more balance between the gender enrollment rates, and the girls' academic achievements will reflect the fact that they are in school consistently.
All right, so I've been in charge of our economic plan for putting this project in place, making sure it happens, and outlining everything that we need in order to make it happen. So this is my spreadsheet, which I keep track of everything financial related to putting together this project. All of our one-time needs, everything we need to put together the school, the structure of the building, the desks, the books, so on and so forth. And then our recurring needs, everything that we need to put into this on a monthly basis in order to keep it running for the foreseeable future and make sure it works for everybody. So in the one-time needs, we have the lumber and the plywood, everything that we need for the structure of the building. Then we have doors, lights, all the tools that we need to build it, the books, the desks, the chalkboard, everything. In the recurring needs section, we have erasable markers, erasers, papers, everything we need for toiletries and whatnot, and that's all that is going to be necessary on a monthly basis. The only variable that we have in place at the moment is teacher salary, teacher training, and teacher salary. How they are going to come into play, because we have to train teachers so that they'll be ready to educate the students, and we have to pay them into the foreseeable future. So that's it.
There's going to be 2 outhouses. This is an outline of one, but there will be one for men and one for women, or boys and girls. We think it's important to have adequate facilities for both of them, so that they feel as though they can be welcome in school.
Thanks for watching.